Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng has fired back at ex-PM Datuk Seri Najib Razak's comment that the sales and services tax would be a double whammy on the public. Najib claims that the people are disappointed despite zero GST, saying that the prices of goods have not dropped at all. In a statement, Lim called Najib's rationale illogical. He said that Najib needs to explain how SST is more burdensome when it collects 21 billion ringgit a year compared to GST, which was projected to collect 44 billion ringgit a year. Lim explained that unlike GST, the new SST would be tweaked to ensure that the impact on lower income groups would be less. Earlier in the day, Deputy International Trade and Industry Minister Ong Kian Meng had clarified that the new SST was not 16% as some had assumed. Ong says the separate rates for the two categories of SST should not be added up. Retail Group Malaysia is encouraging trade associations to educate the public on any possible price hikes as the government releases more details on the sales and services tax. MD Tan Hai Sin says that the private sector's actions are equally important to keep the public informed. This is to avoid a plunge in sales due to a lack of clarity. He also urges the government to release more information and clearer guidelines sooner rather than later. Yesterday, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng announced that the rates for the SST would be 10% for sales and 6% for services. This is unchanged from when it was first introduced before being replaced by GST. Retirement Fund KWAP says it plans to up the weightage of equities in its portfolio as it seeks to take advantage of the current downturn in the domestic and foreign equities market. CEO Dato' Wan Kamaru Zaman Wan Ahmad explains that KWAP kept a huge cash pile prior to GE14 that it now intends to utilize. He says that previously KWAP had not been significantly overweighting equities. Currently, equities make up about 42.5% of KWAP's portfolio. However, Wan Kamaru Zaman did not specify a target or by when the fund hopes to achieve it. The federal government is still keeping mum on the details of the 4 independent power producers that had their contracts recently cancelled. Energy, Technology, Science, Climate Change and Environment Minister Yobi Yin says this is due to several issues. She would only say that it would be announced later. To recap, Yo said the details of the 4 cancelled IPP projects would be made public if the cabinet gave its approval. At the time, she said that one of them involved a public listed company and that the terminations would not disrupt the country's electricity supply. Water heater player Seers saw its share price climb as much as half a cent to 8.5 cents as it made its debut on Bursa Malaysia's lead market today. Group MD Ken Foo Kwok Seng says that the group is hoping to expand into the retail market for water heating appliances in Malaysia. He expects demand to grow at a moderate pace, partly driven by sustained economic growth and consumption spending. Seers ended the day 25% up to close at 10 cents.